They say desire is about pursuit, that the man who wins is the one who tries the hardest. But here's the truth. The more you want her, the less she wants you. The moment you stop chasing, everything changes. You become the story she replays in her mind, the question she can't answer. Stay with me until the end, because this shift isn't just about attraction. It's about becoming a man no woman can forget. Let's talk about polarity, not the fake alpha male posturing, but the real, unshakable energy of someone who's complete on his own. Women don't fall in love with logic, they fall in love with energy. And the strongest energy you can give off is this: I'm already full. When you crave her, she feels it, and it pushes her away. But when you hold your ground, when your world doesn't orbit around her, she feels something else: gravity, not desperation, but depth. This energy creates a paradox. The more detached you are from outcome, the more outcomes bend in your favor. In relationships, that means she's not attracted to your attention. She's attracted to your independence from her validation. And that energy radiates in everything, from how you speak, to how you breathe, to how you exit the room. Here's the psychological truth. You've probably heard this: women fall in love in your absence, but you don't understand why. Here's why. When you're not there, when your energy pulls back, her brain starts replaying everything: the laughs, the glances, the tension, but more importantly, the unfinished story. The human brain hates open loops. When you disappear without closure, her mind starts spinning. That's when she attaches, not to you, the man, but to the idea of you. And that idea is far more powerful than any text or compliment you could ever send. This is not manipulation, it's reality. The brain bonds through emotional imprint, not constant contact. Think of your favorite movie, the one that stayed with you. Was it the endless dialogue or the quiet tension in the scenes that made your heart race? The space is what makes the story breathe. If you're always there, you're predictable. Predictability kills tension, and tension is the lifeblood of emotional attraction. Let me tell you about Josh. Good guy, smart, kind. He met a girl at work and fell hard. He did all the right things, texted every day, gave her little gifts, listened to her stories, even helped her fix her car. She thanked him, smiled, but slowly the spark faded, until one day she ghosted him completely. Months later, he ran into her again, but something was different. Josh had stopped caring. He'd moved on, focused on his fitness, his business, his friends. And when they talked again, she looked at him like she was seeing him for the first time, because she was. It wasn't about what he did. It was about the energy he stopped giving. That silence, that mystery, it pulled her in. But let's go deeper with another example. Take Kevin. He was in a long-distance situationship. They texted all the time. Good morning, good night, memes, emotional check-ins. He thought he was keeping her close, but what he was really doing was killing the mystery. Then he tried something new. He stopped texting all day, not out of spite, but out of intention. He'd go silent for hours, even days sometimes. And instead of reaching out, she started watching his stories, liking old photos, replying to things she would normally ignore. Why? Because silence created space for her imagination to take over. When she didn't know what he was thinking, she thought about him more. When she didn't have constant access, she craved it. And when he finally messaged, it was short, grounded, and emotionally charged. It flipped the script. He wasn't the guy waiting around anymore. He was the man who could walk away, and that's what pulled her in even deeper. Let me add one more. There's Daniel, recently divorced, mid-40s, 2 kids, thought his dating life was over, until he met a woman at his son's school. He played it cool, never over-texted, rarely initiated, but when he did speak, he was calm, confident, and present. Within 2 months, she was chasing him. Why? Because he broke the pattern. He was the first man in years who didn't try to impress her, and that made her want to prove herself to him. You don't win by trying harder. You win by letting go. You stop trying to impress. You stop over-explaining. You stop needing her to respond. And that's when the magic happens. She starts wondering what you're thinking, what you're doing, who you're with. Her mind starts playing a movie, with you as the main character, not because you said anything special, but because you stopped saying everything. There's an ancient pull in this dynamic, the magnetism of mystery, and when you let her mind work overtime, the bond grows deeper than logic can touch. You don't need to become colder, just deeper, still, unbothered. This is about refining your emotional stance, not shutting down emotionally, but shifting where you derive your emotional security from. To become colder implies emotional withdrawal, aloofness, and detachment in a defensive way. But being deeper, still, and unbothered is something else entirely. Deeper, you are grounded in your own values, purpose, and emotional world. You're not reacting to every external stimulus. Instead, you reflect, you hold space, and you respond with thought, not impulse. This depth makes others, especially women, feel like there's more to discover about you, which is inherently attractive. Still, this refers to emotional regulation. Stillness is power. You're not swayed by drama, insecurity, or provocation. In the eyes of others, this stillness reads as confidence and self-assurance. Stillness makes your presence calming, even captivating. Unbothered. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you don't overreact. When things don't go your way, or when she tests you, which women often do, consciously or not, you don't flinch. You maintain your frame. This shows her you're not seeking validation. You're centered. Together, these three qualities transform your energy, from seeking approval to commanding attention, without ever needing to demand it. This is not about playing hard to get. It's about being hard to shake. Now, let's get tactical. Here's how to build emotional gravity without lifting a finger, by mastering presence, restraint, and tension in a world that over-communicates. 1. Hold the silence. Master the gap. In conversations, most men fear silence. You won't. If she shares something personal or flirty, pause. Let the silence linger. Tilt your head. Hold eye contact. Let her fill the space. That moment of unspoken tension, that's where the emotional hook gets planted. She'll think about what you didn't say more than what you did. 2. Say no without explanation. Protect your frame. When she invites you somewhere impulsively or requests a favor that feels off, just say, "Can't today." No elaboration, no fake excuse. Just the calm confidence of a man who doesn't need approval. This subtly teaches her to respect your time and presence, and respect is the seed of obsession. 3. Let her misread you. Weaponize mystery. If she assumes you're dating someone else, or thinks you're emotionally unavailable, don't rush to defend yourself. Let the assumption sit. Smile. Say, maybe. This isn't about being deceptive. It's about triggering her imagination, and her imagination is far more potent than any truth you could offer. 4. Speak in fragments, not essays. Create interpretive space. Stop being a narrator. Be a riddle. Instead of saying, "I really liked spending time with you," say, "That night, interesting." Instead of, "I think you're beautiful and smart," say, "There's something about the way you look at me." Give her something to interpret, replay, decode. Her emotional investment deepens with every unanswered question. 5. Leave at the peak. Control the emotional arc. Don't wait until the energy dies. End it when the tension peaks. Whether it's a date, a call, or a flirtatious chat, cut it short when she's smiling, glowing, wanting more. That unfinished high becomes a loop in her head. She'll crave a conclusion, and that craving becomes your advantage. 6. Elicit vulnerability, then pull back. Stir and withdraw. Ask her, "What do you regret not doing in your life?" Or, "What's something nobody knows about you?" After she opens up, thank her, then change the subject. Make her feel seen, then challenge her emotional control. This mix of intimacy and uncertainty is unforgettable. 7. Anchor emotion to you. Build association triggers. During a moment of laughter, touch your necklace. When she smiles, tap your fingers on the table. Anchor subtle behaviors to peak emotional states. Later, even in your absence, those small cues will trigger emotional recall. That's how you become embedded in her nervous system. 8. Don't correct her when she's wrong about you. Let her work for the truth. If she says, "You're probably one of those guys who never settles," you say, "Maybe," or even better, "Would it matter if I was?" Let her chase clarity. Let her try to unlock you. The more effort she puts in, the more invested she becomes. This isn't manipulation. This is emotional leadership. You're not playing games. You're showing restraint, discipline, presence, and that's rare. Most men overwhelm her nervous system with noise. You become the silence she can't forget. From now on, stop explaining yourself. If she texts, don't reply right away. If you're thinking of sending a long message, don't. Instead, focus on your breath, your body, your mission. Let her come to you, not because you're playing games, but because you're already whole. If you're wondering whether this really works, try it. Just once, then try it again. And watch how the dynamic begins to shift. Not through words, but through space, through presence. Most men have never allowed themselves to not react. You'll be stunned by what happens when you do. Now, let's reflect. If you felt the sting of chasing and losing, now you know why. You gave too much of what was never asked for. You gave her answers when she needed questions. That ends today. You don't need to become colder, just deeper, still, unbothered, because the man who stops needing becomes the one she needs. We're just getting started. I'll see you when you're ready to lead, not follow.